were sort of showing our activity in the newsfeed was entirely about social aggregation. So we, and this happened slightly after we started designing this version. We'd love to think they stole it from us, but probably not. So we wanted to show, in any case, the sort of like the value of lots of friends reading something. So again, this is where we talk about, or where I talked about sort of recency, but also the kind of aggregated vouch for a piece of content. Once you get in, you can sort of find people, you can find reads by people. So you can look for a specific person. One kind of nifty little thing that one of our engineers in the room here and I came up with that I'm super proud of, which is just a total aside, is so you're in this big tile view, and we talked a little bit in the last session that was in this room about why you don't always touch where you think you're touching. So if we look at this friend here, if I click on her, and we're assuming you're not on a simulator, you're on an actual touch device, not only will I get her, I'll get some other people. This is what I was talking about, saying like we're always offering something. But we chose to give you the people that are sort of north, east, southwest of that person. So we're making a guess of like, if you didn't mean her, let's hope that the person you did mean is also in this view. And this is partly, especially with HTML5, to prevent, or not prevent, but mean that you don't have to use your back button as much. We're sort of always offering you what else you might want or might have wanted anytime we give you a view.
It's good. It's cool.
Are there other development questions? I feel like we, yeah, we think it's cool. We hope you'll use it too. We worked closely with in developing this, have focused a lot of energy. The user base for mobile isn't huge at the moment, but they see it doing nothing but increasing. And I think it's a particularly sort of sweet spot for reading. I think finding news socially on Facebook, one of the Facebook mobile platforms, that would be the iOS or the Android apps, or the m.facebook.com, and sort of using your friends to find something to read on the bus, or half the time I'm on my couch, but I still sort of keep my phone with me. So finding a mobile experience for this was top on our list. And do you want to? And then there were some other reasons that we focused so quickly on the phone experience for Social Reader, and I'll let Charles say a little bit more about that.
Sure. Yeah. So basically, the first thing that we wanted to just go over really quickly was you saw our web experience. I think it's pretty clear that we needed a mobile experience, but there were a couple other reasons, as Camila said. The first one was basically within the Facebook native app. When Facebook came out with Project Spartan, we were broken completely. So if anyone tried to hit Washington Post Social Reader within the first week or two, Project Spartan broke our application and got an error page. It wasn't an
and not even a friendly error page.
It wasn't very friendly. It was a Facebook error page.
And let me just step in and say, Project Spartan is Facebook's sort of initiative to launch partnered apps inside their native experiences.
Everyone heard about the Project Spartan rumors that sort of were going around before. So that was a very important reason for us to work on a mobile experience. The second experience was what we're doing with the Washington Post Social Reader full web app is we're doing it basically an algorithm-based approach to giving people news that we think that you're going to be interested in. And one of the things we sort of knew about a smaller space was that the algorithms that we were using were going to be really hard to understand and appreciate. And then
and I'll say just a little bit more about that. On the web, Washington Post Social Reader has an experience that allows you to sort of absorb some of that algorithmic selection in what I would call a sort of default. You can see a large set of content. You can see sort of the tag things that should resonate with you about why something was chosen for you. That kind of depth of information and being able to appreciate sort of how something is working by looking at a big set of information is just not something that works well in a mobile atmosphere, particularly a sort of on-the-go context of a phone.
And then the third reason that we wanted to do mobile was we wanted to take something that we had built and that was really an experiment in news finding in a social experience, and we wanted to take what we saw was actually, we felt was a fairly simple idea and tried to make it even simpler in a mobile experience.
So, and we're going to look at some of the pieces of design here and talk about that. So, one of the ways we went from that complex overlay of social discovery and algorithmic sort of feeding to you was to be really super friend-centric in the mobile experience. This is the primary way people get into Washington Post Social Reader. They see their friend has read something. They know, they choose somewhere between I'm interested in this headline and I'm interested in things this friend reads. So one of the ways we talked about that, or we sort of worked to achieve this with the design, was putting the friends right up front all the time. Basically saying the social story on any given piece of news or content is as important as any other piece of context about this. It's as important as the byline. It's as important as the news source. We also want to show sort of like friends in aggregate. In a way, I think of this as like your friends are vouching for this piece of news. The same way you'll follow a piece of content because you like the source. If you're sort of into GigaOM, you feel like you get good content from them. You might also follow a piece of news because certain friends have read it. So any place we could, and in any time we were sort of signaling the source of a piece of content, we were also signaling the social source of that content.